Hey beautiful beaders, it's Gina from orchidandopal.com, and today I have the November 2019 bargain bead box here for us to open together. This is definitely a favorite on my channel. It's only $17.95 a month with free shipping if you're in the US, and it's always a great value. Let's go ahead and pop this open and see what our theme is, the color scheme, the type of things we'll be getting. I have absolutely no idea, but the theme does change every month, and they're always totally different. Alright, so looking at our letter here, it looks like our theme is coffee shop, so we might get some neutral tones in coffee and cream, some gemstones in black and agate, and maybe some coffee theme charms and findings. I'm certainly a coffee lover. I'm excited to see what's inside. This is our package of beads right here. Everything is included in the tissue paper. And we have our coffee brown organza bag right here with everything included, and we'll look at everything inside in just a moment. Here's the list of everything that's included in case you want to refer back to it for any reason. As you can see, there's going to be a total of 17 items in this collection, and for $17.95 shipped to your door, what more can I say? Also on the back of this is a coupon code. If you are a subscriber of the Bargain Bead Box, you can also get a coupon code every month for 30% off your purchase at their sister store, Bead Box Bargains, and I've shared a lot of hauls showing you guys the types of things that they have. The prices are great because it is a closeout store, so that's another perk of the subscription. But without further ado, let's go ahead and pop open our organza bag and take a look at everything one by one. Alright, first up is a bag containing 50 pieces of 8.5 millimeter snowflake spacer beads, and that would be all of these right here. These remind me of the typical daisy spacers that a lot of us beaders are familiar with, except these are more of an open snowflake type design. We actually saw some flakes here where I'm located today, which was very odd. We usually don't see anything this early in the season. So I kind of feel like going through this bag and this theme is very appropriate for me today. Our second bag contains 20 pieces of 7.5 millimeter dotted bead caps, another one of those handy things to have. The Bargain Bead Box, for those who don't know, contains findings, and they are all in coordinating colors. It's one of the things that sets them apart from some of the other bead subscriptions, besides the really good value. So there's a look at the top of those bead caps. They kind of remind me a little bit of a gear, and then you can see what they look like underneath also. Here is bag number 3, which contains 100 pieces of Chinese crystal bicone beads in the white jade color. So we have our cream here, I guess, with our bicones. You get a nice long strand of those, and you typically do get a strand of Chinese crystal bicones with each one of these collections. And they are a basic white. They do kind of have a little bit of a glossy or luster finish. They are a little bit sparkly under the light. And here's bag number 4. This contains 2 pieces of pewter alloy coffee cup charms. These cups definitely look familiar to me. I think they'll look familiar to a lot of you guys, even though they are not specifically branded. They look quite a bit like Starbucks coffee cups, especially with the little stars and everything. I'm sure these would make a really cute gift on something for the coffee lover in your life. And check this out, they actually spin. Isn't that cute? Kind of like the earth, you know, some people revolve around coffee. That's cute. Next up, we have bag number 5, and this contains a 15-inch strand of 3 millimeter finely faceted black Spinnel gemstone beads. These are very sparkly and very tiny, that little 3 millimeter size. I actually thought these were some sort of crystal when I first saw the bag. So it's interesting, these are actually faceted stone, and there are certainly a lot of facets on them. They are very uniform. That's something that I'm noticing too right away. And I love how much these glitter and shine under the light. Quite a lot here. Again, that 15-inch strand, that'll go a long way. Moving on, bag number 6 contains 2 pieces of 22 millimeter cut glass crystal teardrop beads in dark topaz. These are screaming earrings to me. This one's just a little bit rough, but once beaded around or wire wrapped, you won't notice. And just to reiterate, this is the Bargain Bead Box. This is not your highest end type of box where you're going to expect Swarovski crystal level of items, but that's not what you're paying for. So I'm just here to point that out. All of these items, of course, very usable, and you just have to decide for yourself what works best for you. These are very pretty. They feel quite chunky and substantial in my hands. They don't feel super light or have that plastic type feeling. They're not plastic, they're definitely glass. And that nice neutral color, translucent, they're letting a lot of light through. They're actually quite pretty. Next up is bag number 7. This contains a 7.5-inch strand of 8 millimeter jade finished glass beads in coffee. And you can certainly see why these are called coffee. We have that coffee brown color, and they really do have the appearance of jade the way the glass is finished off, especially there near the holes. So these are glass beads, but they definitely do have the appearance of being stone, and they let just a little bit of light through. They're not completely opaque, and I'm seeing just the slightest variations in color of the glass, which makes them look more stone-like. Next up, we have bag number 8. This contains a 7.5-inch strand of 6x4mm Chinese crystal rondelles in silvered evergreen. So I think we've got our Starbucks logo color going on here with this forest green, and you can see that they have silver on parts of the beads, which make them even more sparkly. Typical faceted rondelle Chinese crystal cut glass beads, and I like that we have some green in here in addition to our blacks and browns and whites. Our next bag is number 9, and it contains a 15-inch strand of 6mm polished agate round beads. I feel like this strand has all of our color scheme kind of coming into play pretty much, except for the green. At first I couldn't tell if there was some green in it when I was looking through the bag, but you can see that there's a lot of black, you see white, different shades of brown and tan. Definitely gives me that feel of a cup of black coffee when you start to pour some cream in it and you get the different shades of brown and tan going on in your mug. And this is another thing I love about the bargain bead box, is that you do get gemstone beads included in your subscription, which is a great value for such a low cost subscription. Next up, we have bag number 10, and this contains 1 meter of steel jewelry chain that is approximately 4x3mm. And each month you can typically expect a bag of chain like this, and it's nice that they send a whole meter, not just a foot, because this amount of chain really does go a long way. I'll be able to use this in several projects along with the other items in this collection. And then bag number 11, do we have any chemistry buffs out there? So we have 5 pieces of 24x26mm caffeine molecule pendants. That's a lot, 5 of those. These are very interesting. What I like to point out about components like this that we get in the bargain bead box especially is there's a lot of possibilities. You can also use these in resin. You can use them for beading around. You can use them as pendants, certainly, just the way they are, but it's always fun to open up your mind to different possibilities with things like this that have the different openings, and you have all these little arms coming off that are full of some very interesting potential. All right, next we have bag number 12, and this says it contains 10 pieces of 17.5mm coffee bean drops. Oh my goodness, these have some weight to them. And they do kind of look like coffee beans, I guess. They're a little bit more elongated than what I expect, but interesting components nonetheless, and very generous in the fact that they give you 10 pieces, not just 1 or 2. And they do appear to be the same on both sides. And then that brings us to bag number 13. This contains 2 pieces of 38mm hook and eye clasps, and these look quite large, 38mm. And they are, so you have your hook component and your eye component. I know I don't have anything this large in like a hook and eye clasp, so I'm always happy to add interesting findings to my collection personally. I think these in particular would work well on a heavy strung necklace, just because they are so big. They would balance something out like that, just off the top of my head. And then here's bag number 14. This contains a 7.5-inch strand of 8mm Greenline Jasper faceted round beads. I like that we're getting a little bit more green in here. We have so many neutrals going on right now without it, and these are gorgeous. I love the faceted gemstones like that, and then when they're glossy, they just have this juicy finish. These are different shades of sage green, I would say. You have your darker and then your lighter ranges. You can see the different striations of color running through each of these beads, and they're all going to be a little bit different since they are stone. And then we have bag number 15. This contains a 7.5-inch strand of 10mm iced Mocha agate beads. These look just like the coffee agate that I received last month, I think. These are so earthy, lots of browns and black mustard, a little bit of rust color. They do have a little bit of a powder on them from being in the package, so I will clean them up a little bit. And when I received something like this last month, I wasn't quite sure about it, although I never write anything off because I've learned that things can surprise you even if they're not something that you're drawn to right away. And I used them in a necklace, and you're free to see that in one of my last finished jewelry update videos, how that came out. And we can see it adds a little bit of warmth to some of our other colors here in this palette. We're down to 2 more bags. Number 16 contains a 40mm agate teardrop pendant. That's absolutely beautiful. Now you can see a closer look at what mine looks like, and of course this goes without saying, but they're all going to be a little bit different because they are agate. So mine has a lot of black and white stripes kind of going diagonally down from left to right on that side, just a hint of brown over there, and then there's a look at the back. I think this was a great addition to the theme that we have going on here, kind of brings a lot of the colors and tones together. And the bargain bead box does tend to send some really nice focal pieces in their boxes, which I enjoy using. Now our very last bag, this is number 17. This contains 2 pieces of approximately 18 millimeter handmade porcelain coffee mug charms. Aren't these cute? These are absolutely adorable. They are quite small, but you can see they are actually shaped like a mug, even down to having the opening here at the bottom. And you just use the handle there as your loop to attach this to some other components. I think that's adorable. So they included 2. You could make a sweet little pair of earrings with these, of course, or split them up and use them separately, whatever you want to do. But there's lots of possibilities, and the fact that they're white will make it easy to combine these in a project, no matter what the color scheme is. So that is everything for the November 2019 Bargain Bead Box. The coffee shop edition, I mean, they really nailed the theme, you gotta admit. I am more of a bright colors girl myself, but I do appreciate some good neutrals, and I always have fun with their collections, and typically every month try to come back and share with you a finished jewelry update that's almost completely dedicated to everything that I've come up with to do from these collections. So stay tuned for that if you're curious, and feel free to watch past unboxings and past finished jewelry updates I've done in a similar manner. One very important thing I didn't mention at the beginning of this video is you can use the code OPAL2 to save yourself $2 off your very first month of the subscription. So definitely take advantage of that if you haven't already. That would make your very first month only $15.95, which is such an amazing deal. And like I said, their themes change every month. So if you're not happy with this particular theme, chances are next month it's going to be totally different. So as usual, feel free to leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think of the Bargain Bead Box for this month. If you are a subscriber of theirs, if you've already gotten your package, or maybe you're waiting on yours, or if something here in particular jumped out at you. Definitely stay tuned to see some finished pieces from this collection. I hope to be back before the end of this month to share those with you. But until next time, I hope you guys have a fabulous rest of your day. And as always, happy beading. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. For more content like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell to be notified of my latest videos. You can check out the information section below this video for links to all my social media handles, recommended products, and my shop and blog at orchidandopal.com. Thanks for watching.